Aries. November generally is usually about venerating our ancestors, but for you specifically, ancestors are playing a huge part in November. Not only do they have a lot to teach you and show you, but they are also offering you a boatload of protection. Want to know more? Keep watching and I'll explain all about it. What's up, Aries? It's your girl Mel of Divine Feminine Works, and as always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things that interest you, if those are the things you love, if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. And speaking of content, head over to Instagram and follow me there at Divine Feminine Works. Every day I've got plenty of tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation content. So again, head over there and don't forget to follow me. All right, Aries, this is going to be the Astro Forecast and Tarot Scope for you for the month of November 2021. You know the deal. As always, we start with the astrology. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the month starts out with Scorpio season, specifically the sun being in the sign of Scorpio. And I find that people either love Scorpio season or hate it. A lot of people associate it with Halloween, with darkness, with all of that kind of stuff. And Scorpio season tends to be a very intense season, arguably the most intense season of the year. And that's because our focus and our consciousness is directed towards death, towards transformation, towards rebirth. This is the time of year where we venerate our ancestors. This is the time of year where we focus on really big changes, making changes in our life, things changing, things ending. And, sometimes people don't really necessarily take to that too well, but be that as it may, that is the essence of Scorpio season. And that's how we start out the month. Thereafter, on November 4th, we have the new moon in Scorpio. And of course, as always, new moons are all about new beginnings. It's about a fresh, clean slate. And this particular new moon is going to have us focus on creating intimacy and transformation in our lives. Like I said, Scorpio season, all about transformation. So this new moon, if you are looking to really transform something in your life, if you're looking to put an end to certain things, to bad habits, if you are trying to start something new, regenerate something in your life, this new moon is going to be the new moon where you do it. It's going to be opposite to Uranus in Taurus and square to Saturn in Aquarius. So there's going to be this element of surprise. There's going to be this element of shakeup, but there's also going to be a little bit of resistance, particularly if you're talking about regeneration, rebirthing something. Saturn, the square to Saturn is probably going to make things a little difficult, probably provide some obstacles, but it doesn't mean that your new beginning isn't going to happen. It just means that you're going to have to kind of work at it in order to get things going. But regardless, the new moon is going to be very powerful again in the sign of Scorpio on November 4th. Thereafter, on the next day, we have Mercury transiting into Scorpio on November 5th. And Mercury in Scorpio, just like I said before, how the sun in Scorpio is all about us focusing our consciousness on death, transformation, rebirth. Mercury in Scorpio sort of takes that a little bit further and has our thoughts really geared towards that. Everything about Scorpio is substantive. It's deep. It's truth-seeking. And that's where our thoughts are going to be going while Mercury is in Scorpio. It's also about psychic abilities. It's all about telepathy. It's all about intuition. And it's also about addressing our emotions, particularly repressed emotions, and sort of making sense of them, trying to figure out what they are, processing them, all of that good stuff. Mercury in Scorpio is also about substantive communication. Scorpio is anything but superficial. Scorpio is very deep. And so with Mercury in Scorpio, how we speak to people, how we relate to other people is going to be more substantive. It won't be so much superficial sort of pleasantries and, all of that, kind of bullshit. It's really going to get deep, and we're going to be able to communicate with people on a much deeper level. All right, so that's Mercury in Scorpio. That same day, Venus is going to be moving into the sign of Capricorn. This is again November 5th. And Venus in Capricorn is very serious. Venus in Capricorn is serious love. It's commitment. Some say it has to do with soulmates and things like that. But apart from just relationships, Venus in Capricorn is also about long-term investments. It's about creating a nest egg. Capricorn is very much about status. It's about stability. And when you have Venus in this very sort of rigid sign, love is about providing. Love is about money. Love is about being taken care of in a tangible way. Okay. And, again, love gets serious. It gets practical. It gets down to earth. And Venus will be in Capricorn for about a month or so. So during that time, that would be a great time to start a financial plan, start saving. If you want to add more money to your 401k, Venus in Capricorn really allows you to do that with ease. So you'll definitely want to take advantage of that energy while it's in there. All right. Now, the next thing is the full moon lunar eclipse on November 19th. And this is sort of the star of the month. Eclipses are like full moons and new moons on steroids. And this one in particular happens to be a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. Okay. So this is like a full moon on steroids. It's like really the final culmination to some of your manifestations, or it's like really shining a spotlight on something that has been hidden for a while. I want you to think back, if you can, to May 2018. That is where this eclipse is sort of coming from. That's where this energy is sort of, that's how this started, right? And it's going to end with this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 19th. And it's important to understand sort of how eclipses work. And they work typically on an axis. This particular axis is Taurus and Scorpio. And this particular full moon lunar eclipse kicks off a season of eclipses along the Taurus and Scorpio axis for the next 2 years. So all of the eclipses that we're going to have over the next 2 years are going to be along the Taurus and Scorpio axis. And Taurus and Scorpio really, if I had to sum up what they represent, it's about resources. We've got Taurus on the one end, which is about personal resources. We've got Scorpio on the other end, which is about shared resources. I mean, there are different interpretations of Scorpio and Taurus, but for the most part, it's about resources. It's about tangible things. It's about having tangible things in your hand in Taurus and sort of emotional resources with Scorpio. Superficial stuff with Taurus, deep stuff with Scorpio. And that's sort of where we're going to see this play out over the next 2 years. Now, this is a partial lunar eclipse. It's not going to be a full lunar eclipse. So keep that in mind as well. This is going to, like I said, this is going to bring to light intentions that were set at the new moon in Taurus in May, thereabout 2018. So think back to 2018. What were you working on at that time? Taurus tends to be tangible. So there may have been tangible physical things you may have wanted to manifest then. You may finally see that manifestation come to fruition under this full moon lunar eclipse. And depending where this falls in your sign, this is where, this is the area of life that's going to be seriously illuminated under this eclipse. And so that is sort of how that's going to play out. Again, that's sort of the star event of the month. It's nothing to be alarmed about. It's not some catastrophic sort of event. It's just something that's going to be really in your face. Something you may have been working towards for the last 2 years. Something may come to light. That's not necessarily bad. It may be something good that may come to light. But again, that's how that eclipse is going to play out. And again, that is on November 19th. Moving right along, we get to the sun moving into Sagittarius on November 21st, and that marks the beginning of Sagittarius season. Sagittarius season, I love it because it's very larger than life. Sagittarius is bold, it's adventurous, it's huge, it takes up space, and it's unapologetic. And that's sort of how we're going to be feeling once the sun transits into Sagittarius. Sagittarius favors long-term travel, higher education. So once the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, you may want to, go back to school. You may want to take a trip, but your thoughts may be focused on things that are kind of big. Sagittarius is really about like skipping the details and really looking at the big picture of things, particularly when it comes to things like religion, philosophy, law. So it's like, I always feel like during Sagittarius season, we all have these grandiose ideas and we think about things like philosophy and humankind and all of these things. Sagittarius season really stretches your mind. And that's exactly what's going to happen when the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, again on November 21st. And finally, the last thing that we have is Mercury moving into Sagittarius on November 24th. So Mercury started off in Scorpio, right? Well, actually it transitioned into Scorpio early in the month, and our thoughts were very deep. They were very substantive. Our communication was very deep and intense with people. Now when we move to Sagittarius, it's more bold. It's more in your face. It's more adventurous. Your thoughts are larger than life. Mercury in Sagittarius also favors foreign languages. So foreign languages may be something that comes to mind, something that you start learning about when Mercury is in Sagittarius, particularly with the sun also being there as well. It just favors different. You want to experience new things. You want to broaden your horizons via your thoughts and your communication. So you may find that when Mercury is in Sagittarius, you communicate with people who are much different than you, people who have a different perspective to add to your life. Mercury in Sagittarius can be very exciting because it's out of the norm. It sort of steps outside of the box and experiences different things that add this richness to your life. Which is a nice transition because Scorpio season, like I said, can be very intense. With Mercury in Scorpio, it's like we're really thinking about our emotions. A lot of us sort of turn inward towards our repressed emotions, really diving deep into our subconscious, into our psyche. And after that, with Mercury moving into Sagittarius, now we're able to have some fun. We're able to broaden our horizons, experience adventures, experience new things. And like I said, add this richness to our lives that some of us really need. It's good to, stick with what you know, but Sagittarius season sort of has you break the mold and experience new, exciting things. So it's a very exciting time. And that's how we end the month. So this month is looking pretty good. There isn't too much turmoil, although Scorpio season in itself, being that it's so intense, things can come up, particularly repressed emotions, like I said before. But other than that, pretty chill month. The full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is going to seriously bring things to light, depending on where Taurus is in your chart. But other than that, we're looking at a good month nonetheless. All right, Aries. So for you, November has a strong emphasis on your 8th house of transformation, sex, death, and rebirth. I know it's a lot. And your 9th house of higher education and long distance travel. So while the sun is in the sign of Scorpio, your 8th house is going to be lit. And this is the house that, I don't want to say it confuses people, but people aren't always necessarily clear on what it covers. So like I said, it covers intimacy. I didn't say that, but I'm saying it now. Covers intimacy, sex, death, rebirth, and transformation. So these are sort of the subjects and the issues that are going to be at the forefront of your thoughts and where you're going to direct your attention during Scorpio season, during the first half of November. So for some of you, this may be forging a deeper relationship, an intimate relationship with a partner. For others of you, this house also covers shared resources. So other people's money and other people's things. So that may be the focus for the beginning of November. For some of you, Scorpio also, particularly the 8th house, covers the occult. Things that are taboo, such as sex. Well, maybe not anymore, but some of you may be really delving into those things. Mysticism, magic, all of those other things may be a thing for you in the beginning of November. A lot of the Halloween stuff, even though Halloween's at the end of October, A lot of that carries over into November, and that's sort of where your focus is going to be. For a lot of you, especially those of you who are into spirituality, November is going to be very significant for you in terms of ancestor veneration. This is where this house, not necessarily this house, but for some of you, this may really be a thing while the sun is still in Scorpio. And then come November 21st, when the sun transits into Sagittarius, your focus is going to shift towards higher education, long distance travel, and things that are foreign to you. Anything that will expand your mind, stretch your mind, broaden your horizons is what you're going to be focused on come Sagittarius season. All right, but I'll get to that in a second. Let's go through the month chronologically and see what's in store for you. So first up, we have the new moon in Scorpio happening on November 4th. This is again happening in your 8th house of sex, transformation, all of that other stuff, right? So this new moons in general are always about setting intentions and planting new seeds. So for you, this may have to do with an intimate relationship. Maybe you want more intimacy in your relationship. Use the new moon to set those intentions. For others of you, if you are looking to secure a loan, if you are looking for funding from someone else, if you are looking to handle things like taxes, wills, insurance policies, you're going to want to do that at the new moon. The new moon is great for setting those intentions for getting those things done. All right. The next day on November 5th, we have Mercury moving into Scorpio. Now, even though Venus as a planet covers relationships, Mercury also has a certain role in relationships because it deals with communication. And so the way that we communicate with people is sort of how we forge relationships and how we relate to other people. And with Mercury in Scorpio, it's all about communicating on a very intimate and a very deep level. But not just that, it's also going to be about intuition, psychic abilities, telepathy. It's like communicating without really speaking. This communication is not very verbal. It's more feeling, okay? Now, put this together with the 8th house. This is how you're going to be communicating with intimate partners. This is going to be how you communicate with like banks, lenders, other people who have resources that you use. It's not to say that you're going to have this very sexy language with them. There's just going to be this unspokenness that you may have between you and these people. Okay. I don't want you to feel like you're going to be getting in bed with your banker or anything like that. Unless you want to, then that's your business. All right. So moving right along that same day on November 5th, we have Venus going into Capricorn, and this is going to be your 10th house of career and public life. Venus in Capricorn is all about stability. It's all about status. It's about money. It's about being practical, down to earth, long-term investments. It's about commitments, long-term commitments, especially when we're talking about relationships. So in the career sector, when it comes to Venus being in Capricorn, there is a certain element of commitment that you're going to have or that you're going to want to have with respect to your career. Maybe you're going to enter into a new job and sort of lock that in for a while. Maybe there's an investment you want to make in your company that may yield great results over the long run. That's sort of how Venus in Capricorn is going to play out, okay? And it's going to be, again, very practical and down to earth. Even if we're talking about relationships, your relationships at work, your relationship to superiors, bosses, managers, authority figures, your relationship to fans, the public, subscribers, all of that is going to be very practical and down to earth. It's not going to be overly emotional. It's not going to be very flashy or very over the top. It's just going to be down to business. And that's a good thing because that's how you get things done. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is all about discipline. And so if you have this sort of discipline in the way that you deal with the public, fans, followers, subscribers, authority figures, it will really yield long-term results for you. Okay. So that's kind of how you're going to want to approach Venus in Capricorn, particularly in your career sector come November 5th. Moving right along, we get to the full moon lunar eclipse happening in the sign of Taurus on November 19th. And this is sort of the star event of the month. This is all going down in your second house of money and material possessions. So I want you to think back to May 2018, and perhaps at that new moon in Taurus back then, you set intentions related to money. Maybe you wanted to save money. Maybe you were saving up for a big ticket item. Maybe you wanted to acquire more assets, acquire property in your name, things of that nature. Now, at this full moon lunar eclipse, you're going to see those things come to fruition. You're going to see those things come to a culmination, okay? And if you didn't really set those intentions, or if you don't see anything coming to a big finale come this full moon lunar eclipse, perhaps it's going to illuminate something within your money sector that really needs your attention. Full moon lunar eclipses are like full moons on steroids. So they either give this really big finish or they illuminate something, put a serious spotlight on it. Eclipses also bring things out. They eclipse things out. So full moon lunar eclipses also pull things out. So if you find that you're losing money, that you have to spend a lot of money, it's not a big issue. Don't make it into a big issue, because that's probably for a good reason. Perhaps you need to get rid of debt, although that mostly would be if this was going down in your 8th house. But maybe there are things that you need to pay. Maybe you need to pay for a big ticket item right now at this full moon lunar eclipse. And that's for a good reason, because you're paying for a big ticket item. You're going to have a big ticket item, a big asset that may be able to generate more money for you in the future. Okay. So full moon lunar eclipses, a lot of people think they are volatile. They can be, but they can also get you to, focus your attention on something that may have been hidden for a long time, that may have been neglected for a long time. Otherwise, they can really be the culmination of something great. They can be the great grand finish, grand finale to something that's been going on for the last couple of years. So that's what to expect with the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus happening on November 19th. And then we move into the sun transiting into Sagittarius on November 21st. And this is going down in your 9th house of higher education and long distance travel. So at that time, Aries, you may want to take a trip to some place you've never been, some exotic location. You may want to start school. School may be, particularly if you are in college, grad school, law school, medical school, all of those things may be a big focus for you this month, particularly in Sagittarius season. Others of you, this may be the time where you seek adventure. You want to expand your mind. You want to broaden your horizons and experience a whole bunch of different things. And that was where your focus and your consciousness is going to be when the sun moves into Sagittarius. All right. And then finally, the last event of the month is going to be Mercury moving into Sagittarius on November 24th. And with this is how you communicate with people who are different from you, who may have different points of view from you. There's a lot that can be learned from differences when Mercury is in Sagittarius, particularly for you, because the 9th house, which is where this is all going down, it's things that are foreign. It's things that are different. That's how you broaden your horizons, right? By experiencing new and exciting things. And with Mercury there, you're going to be interacting with people who may have different points of view, who may have different perspectives of life. They have walked a different path in life that will enrich your life by speaking to them or learning from them. In terms of learning, this is where you guys may be studying things like philosophy, religion, law, any of those big brain subjects. Maybe the things that you may be researching or studying when Mercury goes into Sagittarius. All in all, November is going to be a month of transformation for you, a month of depth with Scorpio, with the sun in Scorpio, and also of expanding your mind and broadening your horizons with the sun in Sagittarius. All right, Aries, so that has been your astro forecast for the month. Now that we've gotten the astrology out of the way, let's get into the tarot and see what messages Spirit has for you this month. All right, Aries, you know the deal. We always start out with an oracle card for an overarching message, and then we circle back in with the tarot for more specific stuff. But this month, I'm trying something different. I'm going to be giving you 3 separate messages. One general, one love, and one career and money. Sorry, I've been doing like a million videos today. So I'm a little slow, that's why. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with the general message. Okay. All right. So, Spirit, what general message do you have for Aries for November 2021? Okay. We have why. Just why. And this number is 31-4, which has to do with stability, has to do with home. Some of you are really... There's something about your ancestry that you are wondering about. Some of you, like I said, Scorpio season may be about ancestor veneration for you guys. Some of you may be really taking a deep dive into your lineage, into your ancestry, and finding out why certain things that are happening in your life now, you want to know what your ancestry has to do with it. So I see you doing some research, particularly with Mercury in Scorpio. I see you guys asking a lot of questions, maybe asking your family a lot of questions. Like, you know, maybe something is going on in your life right now and you think that maybe your ancestors are trying to speak to you. You think that maybe something in your family's history or lineage may have something to do with it. So I see you doing a lot of investigating and a lot of question asking with respect to that. All right, let's get a tarot card on this and see what else we have here. For Aries, November 2021. Okay. All right. We've got the 5 of Wands, and this is about conflict, strife, competition. This is very Mars energy. And Mars, your ruling planet, is also in your 8th house, which is also the house of Scorpio. And so, again, there's something about, there may be some conflicts in your life. Maybe some repressed emotions that have you feeling conflicted, have you sort of fighting yourself, maybe even fighting partners. And you really want to get to the bottom of it. Like I said, Scorpio energy is very much about seeking the truth. It's about getting to the heart of the matter, really taking a deep dive into things. So for some of you, this has to do with your ancestry. Maybe you have conflicts in your life right now and you feel like your ancestry has something to do with it. For others of you, you're experiencing conflicts in your intimate relationships. You may be having money issues right now, particularly if you owe a lot of debt, if you've got loans and things like that. And you're just really trying to get to the bottom of it, trying to get to the why. Why is this happening? Why am I experiencing this? All right, let's get one more card here for this general message. Okay, we've got marriage. Okay. So this is definitely dealing with an intimate partnership for some of you. Some of you are experiencing issues with intimacy in your marriage. You may be at war with your partner. You may be in conflict, or you may be conflicted within yourself and it's affecting your marriage or your committed relationship. And you are really trying to get down to the bottom of it during Scorpio season. Okay. I get that that's what's going on for the majority of you. I feel like for others of you who may not be married or may not be in a committed partnership, it's this lineage. We've got marriage. I'm getting like in-laws, you know, like different sides of the family. It's something about your lineage that you are questioning, something about your ancestry that you're looking into, like you're taking a really deep dive into it, like your mother's side, who your mother married, maybe your great aunt, maybe your great great grandmother. Like some of you are really taking a deep dive into that this month. All right, let's move on to love and relationships. So what's going on for Aries with love and relationships for November 2021? Nice. We've got dream come true, wish upon a star. This is a number 8. 8 signifies infinity. So some of you have been dreaming about some relationship. There's something that you've been wishing for a long time. And it looks like it's finally going to come true this month. I love this energy. It's so hopeful and optimistic. And I feel like that's how you feel about love and relationships this month. All right. Let's get another card on here and see what this is about. All right. We've got the High Priestess. Okay, there is this intuition with respect to this dream come true. For some of you, it may be a high priest or a high priestess that is the subject of your love life this month, particularly with this abundant energy in Scorpio, which is your 8th house, which is the house of taboo. It's the house of magic. Some of you may be really entranced with this high priest or high priestess, or you may be this high priest and high priestess, and someone is really like, you're someone's dream come true. Okay. You feel it. Like, it's almost like you're conjuring up this relationship. Some of you are really doing some magic. I see magic spells. I see candle magic, candle work. Like, some of you are really getting deep into this, particularly during Scorpio season. Okay. I ain't mad at it. Do what you got to do. Just don't hurt nobody. Okay. All right. Let's get one last card here for the relationship message for Aries. Okay, let's see what we got here. Ooh, sudden wealth. All right. This magic that you doing is going to pay off well for you. I feel like this person is going to suddenly appear. You are literally conjuring up this person and they are going to come hither to you. I definitely see that, like almost like you hit the jackpot. Okay. I don't think I need to say any more than that. All right, let's move on to career and money. Career and money for Aries. All right, we've got the bear. The bear is all about protection, like a mama bear, right? I'm also getting, the first thing I heard when I saw this card was bear market, as in like the stock market. So some of you are really into stocks. You guys are really studying stocks this month. But there's something about your career that's very protective, or there's someone that you work for or work with that is very protective of you and your business and your money. There's this energy of protection. Hedging your bets is what I just heard. I don't know, that may be significant to someone, but there's this element of protection. All right, let's get a tarot card on this. Okay. We've got the Queen of Cups. There could be a Queen of Cups in your midst that is very protective of you. I'm getting that this person is no longer with you. This is an ancestor, and they are protecting the fuck out of your business and your money. They're so with you, and they are doing everything in their power to protect what you've accomplished, what you've accumulated, what you've built. It's definitely a woman also, but there's someone who has passed on that is really here for you, and they are giving you strong protection. They are anyone who could come in your path to destroy you or distract you. It's like they are getting rid of that person almost immediately. Like, they are super protective of you and your business right now and your money. All right. Let's get one last card here to close out the reading. Career and money for Aries, November 2021. Main male. Okay, interesting. They may be protecting you from this person. Whoever comes to mind, that may be who this is about. But I get that they're protecting you from this main male. I'm hearing for some of you, if you're having issues in your marriage and you may be going through a divorce, this person is protecting your assets. So this main male doesn't take it all, doesn't take you to the bank. Take you to the cleaners, I should say. But there is a female energy that is protecting you hardcore from this male energy. All right, Aries. So to recap, we've got this ancestry. There's this level of ancestry. There's this theme of ancestry that is really running through this reading. A lot of you may be delving into ancestry, figuring out, if you're dealing with problems in the present, what does your ancestry or your lineage have to do with it? For others of you, you are conjuring up this relationship of a lifetime and you're about to hit the jackpot. That spell work is going to come through and the love of your life is going to appear almost as if by magic. And when it comes to your career and your money, your assets are very protected by a loving ancestor who's really looking out for you. So Aries, this month is all about ancestry. So you need to pour some libations for your ancestors, put out things that they like, whatever you believe in. If you are, Latin and you believe and you celebrate Dia de los Muertos, if you, venerate your ancestors during the month of November, do it, particularly this year. There's a lot to be thankful for. There's a lot of clarity to be gained from doing this ancestor work. All right. All right, Aries, that has been your Astro Forecast and Tarot Scope for the month of November 2021. I sincerely hope and affirm that you were able to get at least one important message from this reading. Speaking of readings, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me or order an astrology report, those links are in the description box below, so don't forget to check those out. And while you're checking things out, don't forget to check out my website and subscribe to my newsletter. Everything I speak about in these videos and more are given to my subscribers on a regular basis. I give out freebies, discounts for products and services, challenges, affirmations. There's a lot of great stuff in the newsletter, so click on the link in the description box below to subscribe. My loves, everything I do is a labor of love and comes straight from the bottom of my heart. If you feel so inclined and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, and tips are always greatly appreciated, I will leave that link in the description box as well. Aries, this month is all about your ancestors. Venerate them, listen to them. They have a lot to provide you with. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.